Hello, and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to do a guide for physical whirlwind. I'm pulling from the gear that I used in my GSF for spin. So basically we're going to use not BIS gear, not crazy stuff, just whatever was available to us, which means this will be a more affordable and a reasonable version of this build that you can replicate relatively easily, in my opinion, I guess. And we'll go over the gear, the skills, the attributes, the merc. We'll do a little bit of a map demonstration, and then I'll show that you can also do the boss content in the game. So you can actually do everything on spin, which is really awesome. Okay, so spin to win, one of the oldest builds in the game. Relies on this skill called Whirlwind. It makes you, I hope I don't die because I have no HP, but it relies on the skill that looks like this. Does a little spinneroonie, which is really nice. And it's like an AoE skill for Barb. It lets you move as you do damage, which is really cool. So when we level up as spin in PD2, we'll put 20 points into spin to get like our max damage from it, get as much velocity. And the more movement that you have, the better, because you basically just want to pass through things and kill them. So we put 20 points into Whirlwind. We put 20 points into Battle Command. Battle Command gives you enhanced damage. Some people didn't know that. Gives you plus skills, which is great. The plus skills are awesome, but also gives you enhanced damage. So you can see the more skill levels you have in Battle Command, the better. I put 1 point in Battle Orders for all the prerequisites, and I got 1 point in Grimoire. This is for either group scenarios or for bossing. Having Grimoire is really nice. So 20 points here, 1 point here. Everything else is a prerequisite. In Combat Masteries, I maxed General Mastery. Now, if you use a polearm or a spear or whatever you're using, you will put 20 points here. But this is for dual wielding Whirlwind. It's not two-handed Whirlwind, so with dual wield, we'll maximize General Mastery. And I put 20 points to Iron Skin as well. This gives you 10 PDR total, 1 PDR for each 2 hard points in Iron Skin. It's just a defensive thing. If you want to be more of a glass cannon, you don't have to put it here. But I really recommend it. Having more PDR is really nice. And you get a lot of defense this way too. So like now when I bow myself, you see I'm at 10k defense, which is really nice. Makes you really safe. Which is good for this kind of build because you're going to go very deep into enemy territory. 1 point in the other passives. If you are an open wounds barbarian, you'll have maximum points here. This is again a physical whirlwind dual wielding build. So we'll have none in deep wounds. And the rest of the points we put into Frenzy. Frenzy is a great skill. The main thing you want to do for Frenzy is have at least level 26 in Frenzy. The reason is it's level 26, you get extra splash radius. It makes your whirlwind bigger, basically, so it's really important. But also whirlwind makes you faster, which means your whirlwind will move faster and kill things faster. So as you can see with Frenzy, we simply move so fast, and yeah, we just cut through everything, which is really nice. I'll leave a teleport here because I saw an experience shrine, and I'm not gonna pass on an experience shrine. So these are how we do the skills. People can do other setups, but this is what we're going to do. For the attributes, I have 0 points in vitality. I have dexterity to wear my gear, basically so I can wear my grandfather's. Some setups don't even require dexterity. It depends on what weapons you're using. 0 into energy, and everything at the strength. Every point at the strength is more enhanced damage, and this is a very like glass cannon-y kind of setup. You can have points in vitality if you want. If you are using items like grandfathers, you're gonna have a lot of health anyway. As you can see, I'm at 2k health. So yeah, you're gonna have a lot of health either way, so you don't really have to worry about it. You can have more health than this too. This is like a bossing setup, and I'll explain it soon. I guess I can already swap to my normal setup, just so it looks more normal. Right? Did I miss something? I use Atmas normally. And I use a Wisp Projector instead of this ring. And this is my normal setup, I believe. Am I missing something? I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, I'm missing my Schaefer's. Where'd I put it? Oh, there it is. Okay. I'll keep this here. Okay, so this is my normal setup for the gear. Now let's talk a little bit about the gear. Generally speaking, I recommend having Schaefer's, of course, an ethereal Schaefer with 4 sockets, or an ethereal Schaefer with EDIAS is the best, but this is what we got. We're talking about affordable gear here. So we got a Schaefer with 2 sockets and a little bit of enhanced damage. The reason we like to use Schaefer is because it has great minimum damage and because it casts static field, which makes your WhirlWind a lot more consistent in maps. So Schaefer is a really great weapon. A second weapon that we're using is Grandfather, super common. This one is non-ethereal, which means it can be a lot stronger, and it has 2 ohms, it has some minus requirement jewels with ED and some ED jewels. So not the best Grandfathers out there. This could be topped by like a well-rolled 4 or 5 socket one. So again, pretty affordable type of Grandfather. That's what we're using. Grandfather's is great because it gives you +2 to all skills, and because it has insane maximum damage. But you can have a lot of other weapons that are better, in my opinion. Again, this is just affordable gear on my end. Alright, the rest of the gear, I'm using Halberd's Rain. A lot of people like Veil of Steel. Instead, the benefits of Halberds is that it gives you a lot of plus skills. It gives you access to Battle Cry, so I get Battle Cry for free. I don't need to put a point here, which is nice. And the extra FHR in it is nice, since you don't have a lot of FHR outside of this and your passives. The PDR is great. I personally really like it. Veil of Steel is great too if you want to go more aggressive. Generally, you're not going to be missing resistances, as you can see, even without any resistances on our gear. We have a little bit of resistances on our gear, but almost without anything, you seem to do pretty okay. So, in my opinion, Veil of Steel is a little bit of an overkill. Halberd's Rain is great. I really like it. But if you want to go full aggro on the ED, then you can definitely go for it. But the PDR is not to be underestimated. For the armor, there are many armors you could go with. A lot of people like running Fortitude. Right, Fortitude, it's a lot of res, it's a lot of enhanced damage. Really, really nice armor. Other armors you can go if you want to go more defensive. Leviathan or Shaft Stop are really great. If you want to do crafted safety armors, I'm trying to look for mine. Crafted safety armors with high ED is also good. I'm going with G-Bane here. The reason I'm going with G-Bane is because it gives you critical strike. And basically, if you're not running any Deadly Strike, so if you're not having High Lords, if you're not running Gore Riders, or if you're not running DS on your gloves or weapons, going with G-Bane is a really smart choice. It gives you Cannot Be Frozen and Critical Strike. And Critical Strike is the Amazon skill for Critical Strike. Only one source of crit can proc at a time. If one of them fails, it will check for the other. So basically they don't stack with each other, so there's no reason to invest all your points both in critical and in deadly strike. And you get like your passive critical from General Mastery, you get like 30 something points. Yeah, 32 points I'm getting from General Mastery. So no real reason to invest a ton into both. Since I'm running Atmas for the amp effect on it, and I'm not running High Lords, then I'm running G-Bane. And I'm running War Travelers. If you want to run a different armor, like, I don't know, a Shaft Stop, a Leviathan, Fortitude, I recommend having High Lords. I recommend having Gore Riders for that Deadly Strike to not miss out on it. Something that is important to remember is that G-Bane, the critical strike from G-Bane, would enjoy any plus all skills. So if you look over here, you'll see my critical strike is at 52. If I remove my Grandfather's, it's 48. Because this gives +2 to all skills. So if you are using a Grandfather's and you get +2 to all skills from all these kind of sources, using a G-Bane makes even more sense. And that's kind of like why I ended up with this. We have free sockets in here. We have free sockets in here too. Just ED jewels, mostly with minimum damage. Minimum damage to me is always preferred over maximum damage because we're trying to one-shot things consistently rather than overkilling them, right, with maximum damage. So minimum damage always better, in my opinion. That's my recommendation. For gloves on spin, soul drainers are pretty much the best. You can use ogres as well. They're okay, but I personally like soul drainers. The minus to physical resistance is great. The dual leech is nice. It helps you make sure you're always always leeching back to full. String of ears. This one is slammed with attack rating. Again, PDR, attack rating, life leech, everything that you kind of want on a belt. You can use things like Nos Coil if you want the deadly strike. But again, on a setup with G-Bane, no real reason to. You have a lot of PDR this way. I got like 25 from this, and I got 10 from my passive. So I'm at 35 PDR total, which is not too bad. I'd love to have more, but this is what we ended up with. For rings, we're using Wisp Projector to be able to summon. Of course, where's my little Spirit of Wolverine? Gives you more attack rating, gives you more damage. Nothing to explain here. It's really great. Also, of course, synergizes with the critical strike by having +1 all skills. Other ring is a dual leech damage ring with a lot of res. It helps us stay kind of like overcapped in case there's like a conviction aura or if there is a low res cast on us. So it's pretty nice. You can use other damage rings. You can use BK set bands. I have one over here. I should have one at least. I believe. Yeah, one of those for ED and PDR. You can use them. They're great. They give you some lightning res too and attack rating. This is what I ended up with. I think it's pretty good overall. So that's what I'm using. For the boots, I'm using War Travelers. Flat damage. It gives you MF, which is really nice. They don't have the most faster run walk. You can use Gourds if you'd like, again, but since I'm using G-Bane, I kind of like using War Travelers. That's kind of my gear. On the swap, I have Demon Limb. I use it for the Fire Enchant. The Venom is not really important. I use it for other stuff, for bossing mostly. So that's kind of the setup I use in terms of gear. For the charms, I use max damage, lifers with attack rating. You can just use beacons. It is better, in my opinion, it's better at least since it gives you minimal damage, and these charms do not give you any minimum damage. You can see that your attack rating is really high without like the charms. You don't really need the attack rating. So personally, I prefer beacons. You can see that my attack rating is more than enough without them. Generally, like 12 to 14k AR is definitely fine. This is just in town, we'd have even more if we're outside and for use all of our buffs. You can see my attack rating is like 25k. Really ridiculous stuff. We don't really miss for the most part. So again, I really recommend using beacons if you can afford it. I simply don't have them. Don't have good ones at least. Because of the GSF scenario. And beacons are cheaper normally than max damage charms. So that's what I recommend in terms of the grand charms. For the small charms, you can use these kind of like max damage. Lifers, you don't really need resistances for the most part. You can see that I have some extra ones, but you don't need them. Like I am overcapped, so you can skip those. Put like either faster one walk, small charms are really, really nice. Faster one walk beacons are really nice. Faster one walk max damage. Or faster one walk resistances if you're missing them, just to make you move faster. I have like some of those here, faster one walk max damage charms, which I'll replace soon whenever I do my setup. Yeah, and Annie, this is a 2-skill Annie. That's always the best. It gives you also bonuses for the G-Bane if you're using it, but you know, plus skills is always best. Yeah, experience Annie if you want to just level up, that's also fine. And the torch, of course. That's what we're using on our setup. Now let's do a little bit of a map demonstration. I'll go and view a map, and let's choose a fast map just so it doesn't take forever. So I'll go into sewers, my favorite demo map. 140 density for a tier 1 map. It's not bad. I'll even put a flag on it just to make it a little thicker. 163. And we'll do Uber Ancients, Ubers, Dclone, and I'll show even a Rathma kill later. Let me get rid of these charms. I don't think I need any of them right now. Right? I don't think so, at least. No, we're capped for everything, so it seems like we're fine. Okay, so I'll put all these faster run walk ones. I'll put all these to the side, and I'll organize it later. And for the most part, when you're mapping as WhirlWind, the main thing you want to keep in mind when you're doing this kind of dual wielding approach is that you want to make sure that you're using your frenzy. Right, so I'll open the map. First thing you want to do, you boil yourself as always, cast Fire Enchant, and when you walk in, you want to charge your frenzy. Okay, so I'm charging it. The reason you're charging it is because it makes you move faster, of course. And I'll try not to delay too much. I'm just charge. Once I'm done charging it, I'm going to start spinning. Okay, so now I'm spinning, and you can see that we're one-shotting most things very easily. Of course, this can do tier 1s, tier 2s, tier 3s. It doesn't struggle with tier 3s, but it might one-shot less things once you move into tier 3s. And another reason we like upgrading our frenzy is because it gives us more time on the frenzy timer. So we don't have to charge it every, like, 10 seconds. We have like 30 seconds, very, very comfortable. Every 30 seconds, we check in, we do a little hit, to make sure it stays up, Until then, we're just moving around, and everything kind of dies in our way. And again, this is not best gear. This could be a lot stronger, of course. But this is how easy it is, the good old reliable spin to win. Anything that gets touched absolutely gets demolished. Yeah, and the only thing you need to do is, like, once every 30 seconds, throw down a little hit. And the cool thing about this build is you really can just play with one hand. I'm using my left click to charge my frenzy, and my right click is spin. So I wish there was no goblin, just so I could show the map is like done in like less than 5 minutes. But we're not gonna skip a goblin event. He could give us a cool drop. So I'm gonna respect the goblin. He's gonna add like a minute to our mapping. Maybe we need to go back to town to unload. But that's really okay. Yeah, as you can see, really, really smooth stuff. I forgot, as always, to mention what merc I'm using. I'll do that in a moment. There's only one merc that I really recommend you use. Even though you can use different mercs, there's only one merc in my opinion that makes sense. So I'll show it in a moment. Once you get to the boss, you can like use battle cry or like a grim ward to kill him even faster if you want to. You don't have to, of course. There's goblin number 2. We get another experience shrine. Go and pick up all this stuff. A lot of place, it seems like. Maybe we don't have to go back to town. We'll see. Yeah, very thick map, very Very easy to go for though. And we get a chat room for the video. Guys, don't say anything, okay? Don't say anything to my GSF. They're gonna think I'm cheating. I really am not. A chat room for the video, guys. That's how you know. That's how you know you're blessed and you're doing the right thing. Yeah, and since the map did take us more than 5 minutes, let's make sure we re-bow ourselves. Fire enchant one more time. And again, a reminder, your chance to hit with this much attack rating really is like 100%. You can really lose a lot more and you'd still be fine. We have one more stretch here before the map is over. As you can see, WhirlWind Phys, even on a relatively budgety kind of setup, no bisque gear, no perfect items. Cleaves through maps really fast. Not that good of a jewel. And we'll send all this into our stash. Actually, let me send it through here. Chamroon. God damn it, dude. Getting a Chamroon like this so casually. That's pretty awesome. And yeah, that was kind of like a map demonstration. As for the Merc, this is the Merc that I'm running. We got a Faith crossbow. Or of course, this is the Vigor Merc. The reason I use Vigor Merc is for the Vigor aura. There's no other Merc you want to use. No other Merc is good because you just want that Vigor aura. You can run an Act 2 Defiance Merc if you really want to go slow. Maybe you're on hardcore, you want to get that extra PDR, extra defense. You could go for it, I guess. If you're really missing AR, you could go for the Blessed Aim Merc, get some Deadly Strike. Personally, I don't think that should ever be the case. Generally, you should not be missing AR, you should not be missing Deadly Strike. Getting that Vigor is the main deal from the Merc. And we're running Faith to give us Fanaticism, gives us a little bit more damage, and it's easier to charge our Frenzy that way. We have a Templar's Might for the Might aura, of course, more damage, and the rest is giving her PDR, right, with something like a V-Gaze, Leech from Nazcoil and Drax, and CBF from Arrows. The bolts are just IAS, so she gets her own little breakpoint, so we make sure that she's at her final breakpoint, just to make sure she's leeching and actually healing. You don't want her to die, and you have to kind of revive her all the time. So that's the setup we went with. That's our Merc. That's our gear. That was a map demonstration. Now let's do Uber Ancients, Ubers, just kind of show like the bossing ability of this build. It is very capable. So let's just kind of hop to the next game to show that. And first we'll do Uber Ancients, which really are no problem for this build. If you do have Demon Limb and Venom, it's even easier. So now I'll do this. I'll drop them in a Venom Desecrate, so we can put down a Grimoire. You don't have to do that, of course. And we'll do a little bit of a Battle Cry that we get from our Halberds. Then we'll spin a little bit. Now, as you can see, don't leech that much from them when you spin, so you have to kind of reju for it, or you can use like a... You can use Frenzy to kill them. But as you can see, no need for respecking. The fight is extremely easy, extremely safe. And I'll pick up some items. I don't think there's anything great here. Correct me if I'm wrong, game. Is there anything great here? I don't think there is. So we're just gonna move on. Here, I'll pick up like some items just to maybe we get lucky. We did not get lucky. Alright, so we're good. Let's see what we did end up getting here. Small charm, not interesting. Okay, so we didn't get anything. That's okay. It's just Uber Ancients, but as you can see, very easy fight. We get our free Standards of Heroes. Very easy. Let's show us killing Ubers, and Ubers, a little bit more difficult. The only main thing you want to remember is to overcap some of your resistances. As I can see, I'm not very overcapped right now. So I will overcap myself. How will I do that? I will... I'll probably use, yeah, something like this. High Lords would be good. High Lords and Fortitude. It's always better to be overcapped on resistances. If this was not GSF gear, I would simply tell you to swap some charms for resistant charms, not actually swap your gear. It's always better to just swap the charms to overcap the resistances. I just or like swap boots. Boots can overcap your resistances very easily for Ubers. Alright, let's kill this guy over here. And again, you can use WhirlWind to kill him. As long as you hold the left alt, you don't lock on to like anything, right? Like this, so you can keep spinning. You just like hover over him. Should be simple. I think there was a combat shrine right here, so I'd like to take it. Let's go kill Dualwield. Let's see, where is that little bug? There he is. Now we're gonna go a spin. I'll put down a little Grimoire to increase our damage. I'm hoping my Merc doesn't die. We don't heal her. She needs to learn how to leech. As you can see, pretty easy to get the kill down. And lastly, Matron's Den. Hopefully we can find a Dario fast enough so it doesn't take forever. Not here. I always check like the surrounded area of like where you started. For Dario. There she is. So I make sure to put down a little Grimoire. Use our battle cry. As you can see, not too much of an issue to kill her. Like our leech is high enough that we actually outdo her damage. Give her another little shout, and she should die in a moment. Okay. Now let's combine the free and go to the Ubers. As you can see, your frenzy stays with you, so as long as you keep your frenzy up, everything else doesn't really matter too much. We got Diablo in here. I'd like to separate them if possible. So let's try and grab Mephisto over here. If we can, please follow me. Thank you. We'll bring him all the way over here. Put down a Grimoire. Make sure to shout at him. And we can start spinning. Now remember that while you're spinning, you cannot use potions. So if you do want to spin like this, you have to make sure that you're stopping every now and then to use a potion. Or you can just use your frenzy, of course, to kill him. Both are okay. On the other two, you do get some life leech. There's a Veil. Put down a little Grimward Totem. And we hold down the alt. Whew. Getting a little too close there. Simply using Frenzy. Seems to leech enough life for us. So we can just do that. That's number 2. And number 3. I mostly try to move in a way that would make it so my Merc doesn't die whenever he does any of his attacks. As you can see, pretty simple, not too difficult. We get a Torch, we got BSS. So let's send this BSS in. Let's see what Torch we got. 3414 Assassin, that's pretty gnarly. Absolutely frag that. Set it to the trash. And next on the line, we did Uber Ancients, we did Ubers, and we're also going to do Dclone as well. This will require some gear swapping. All right, let's get back to that Dclone demonstration. So we got ourselves pretty much the mapping setup. We use the same 2 weapons. The G-Bane, we use a Nokozan Relic instead of the Atmas. I use the Water Walks instead of the War Travelers. These 2 give me max fire, which is kind of what you want for this fight, having a lot of max fire. Our poison res is pretty low, which sucks, but is what is. You know, I can fix everything with our mapping gear. You can fix it with charms, but I wanted to keep as close as we can without too many changes. Just the same gear I use for mapping pretty much outside of these 2 items. Nokozan Relic, you can see slammed with Gold Find, not anything crazy. You can just find any max fire Nokozan on the street and use it. And Water Walks, these slammed with flat life, but as you can see, not a crazy difference, just 14 more life than it could give just without slamming. So as long as you have these 2 kind of saved, you should be able to, you know, replicate this kind of Dclone attempt. And again, we're gonna charge our Frenzy outside. Always better to charge your Frenzy outside if you are a Barb, because it does follow you all the way in. So yeah, just a few more hits. Saves you time inside, so... Okay, so now we have it fully charged. We'll go in and you'll see this should be pretty simple. So we go in, we bow ourselves, we do fire enchant, we drop a little bit of a desecrate so we can use our Grimward. Make sure to recharge our frenzy, then we start spinning. You can see that since we move around, we can dodge a lot of damage just by you know, just by doing a little dance around him. And we killed all the skeletons super easily. We send them to the middle. And we go over here to the corner. We only used 1 rejuve. So, really no problem. We'll even use another one for safety. Drop another Grimward for our damage. Make sure that our frenzy is always up. Having good movement is always nice. We stop spinning every now and then to make sure that we're safe. Then we can use things like taunt, but they seem to want to cancel our FHR over there. Right, make sure that this guy dies. Heal, I think there is like 1 more skeleton over there. And yeah, the phase is over. Okay, he likes doing a lot of lightnings. Oh, it seems like he's already phasing. Okay, so we put down these rejuves. Make sure to put down another Grimward. Recharge our frenzy, and we're back to spinning. Okay, we do get another easy phase. Make sure to stop and rejuve for safety every now and then. You can see very easily spinning through everything. The skeletons are all dead. I wanna, yeah, make sure my frenzy is up, and he's going to the middle, so he can go behind that pillar. 1, 2, 3, 4 Jews. Alright, so we didn't need all these Jews actually. I really didn't do this ever, so I didn't know how easy it will be. Make sure to drop one more Grimward for our damage. And make sure to not die, of course. No need to mess with that, like a little lightning hose. It's really unnecessary. As you can see, didn't even need the cube, didn't need all this inventory. We're really fine. That was a Dclone fight. Again, using the mapping gear for the most part. Just changed like this Noko and water walks, which I'll change back right now. Yeah, give me this Rathmas. And put this Wisp back on. And yeah, that was an example of a tier 0 clone on WhirlWind. Really simple. You can do this at home with enough practice. So even if you are a spin barb and you're like, you know, fully on strength, you're a glass cannon for maps, you can still do tier 0 clone. Tier 2 clone is a little harder. It is possible if you're good enough. I'm not good enough for it, but it's definitely possible. Let's see what Annie we got. 3915, nothing crazy. I think it goes over here with the useless Annies that we got. And lastly, I wanted to show a Rathma kill that we did, also on the same tier. It was really, really cool. And let me kind of share this with you guys. So let me check. Where was it? There we go. Let me make sure that you can see it. Okay, so this is a Rathma kill. We did this live on stream. I'll show the gear that I used for it. But again, very similar to your mapping gear. You don't have to swap a lot of things. Very similar to the Dclone kill that I just did. And again, this was the first time I did it live. Wasn't crazy. Of course, tier 0, not tier 2. Tier 2 is, again, possible, but a lot harder. Definitely not possible with your mapping gear. So it would require a lot of changes. But this is a demonstration of tier 0, just to show that you can do bossing with this build as well, which is really, really nice and fun, because being able to do all types of content is really cool. So you can see I'm doing the same thing I did in the Dclone kill. I'm moving around and dodging the damage at the same time, which is a benefit of using WhirlWind. Mostly rejuve here because we run out of mana, because I didn't have like enough mana leaves to support myself, I guess. So yeah, that's like the main reason why we were rejuving here. As you can see, the damage is really great. We get rid of the phases really fast, and it's really no problem. Killing the golems is easy, and you can dodge the ice blasts or the glacial spikes. You can dodge them without even stopping like your attacks. So yeah, as you can see, finishing the first phase really easily. Going to the second phase, putting down a Grimward. Second phase, I was a little bit more worried about, you know, because of the spin, sometimes getting hit by all sorts of like attacks like the Bone Spear. I was like, maybe that hits me and it would be really scary. It ended up being fine. You can tell that if you notice fast enough when he's going to do the Bone Spear, you can simply go through him to the other side and he doesn't hit you. The cage doesn't really affect you because you just spin through it, so you attack anyway through it. Again, a lot of benefits to just being a spin barb. No respec needed, just going into bossing. Over here, you can see just going through all these Void Knights. They all die instantly. Your damage is just too much for them. Yeah, and one more little burst of damage there, making sure my frenzy is staying charged. And for the final fight, we do the same stuff. You know, we bow ourselves. Oh wow, I skipped maybe a little bit too forward. We bow ourselves. We do damage. I didn't know how much damage we're gonna do. We ended up summoning the Void Knights way too fast because we do so much damage. You do want to be careful here that like you stop to rejuve yourself whenever you get hit by something big. But everything dies really fast, so again, not too worried, as you can see here. I've been relatively safe, rejuving whenever I'm like half HP. I came in with 2k HP, so again, really low for a Barb. And for melee classes, they normally go from 3k to 4k. So yeah, really simple stuff. And I just end up running out of mana often, so I just rejuve for that. Or I just start face tanking because I know I'm going to rejuve anyway. So I'm like, okay, I'll just face tank and heal myself to get more mana. Yeah, here you can see we're killing Mendon. Really no issue. No stress whatsoever. Chasing down Rathma and finishing the kill. So again, all types of bossing, all types of content. You can level with this build once you hit level 30. You can get through most of the campaign with it if you got good enough weapons. You can do mapping with it, early mapping, late mapping. It has so many variations. We showed the Dualwield physical build, which is really cool. And yeah, hopefully you like it. I hope you enjoyed this little guide showing all the types of things you can do with a relatively budgety dual wielding Phys Barb. I will make an improvement on this after the GSF. I have a spicy setup for this WhirlWind build that I want to share, but for now, this is us. This was the WhirlWind we played on our GSF on our second week. I hope you enjoyed this content. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for the video. It really helps the channel grow. And other than that, have a good whatever you're having. I'll see you on the next stream or in the next video. I'm gonna go start leaping. And till the next time, bye.